Hi guys, and welcome back to Keep Smiling Adventures, and in today's video I am going to share with you my 10 lesser known tips and tricks for bicycle adventures, bikepacking adventures, and just generally out on your bike adventures. Now, over the years I have been on so many adventures, from cycling around the coast of Britain, all around the coast of Europe, and just generally I spend a lot of time on bicycle adventures. And with that time, you pick up some things, you learn lots of different tips and tricks. I still use quite a few of these right now. Some of them I've just been lucky to not need them for a while, but it's always good to know these things. So this is going to be 10 lesser known tips and tricks for your bicycle adventures. Let's get into it. Right, at number 1 we have longer cables, longer brake and gear cables. Now, if your bike is packed with bags, whether that is panniers or bike packing bags, you are going to want to make your cables longer. This prevents rubbing on your frame and also rubbing on the cables themselves, and it will just make your life so much easier. Being able to put your bags on the bike while not restricting your cables will make sure that all your gears work consistently over time on your trips. It also gives you the option, if it frays on the end, on like the rear mech side, you can just shorten it without an issue. Now, of course, putting longer gear and brake cables isn't the prettiest look, but I really recommend it if you are going on any kind of bicycle adventure. If you need to continuously put bags on that specific bike, then I highly recommend making your brake cables longer and your gear cables just generally longer, inners and outers. Doing this will just make your life so much easier in the long run. At number 2, I am going to say leave extra space in your bike packing bags. Now, the last thing you want to do is set off with a fully loaded bike. You will be wanting extra space, whether that is for emergency extra layers of clothes that you might need later on, or just generally a little bit of space. If you have some space on your bike before you even leave, it's such a nice feeling. Having your bike fully loaded, meaning you cannot fit anything extra, is just a little bit stressful, in my eyes at least, because it often means you can't pick up spares on the road. Having this extra space, whether it's just a little bit extra space in one of your bags on your bike, is a sure way to make sure that you can pick up spares, whether that is extra clothes. Maybe you've been out on the trail and then it just suddenly gets wet and you just need some extra layers, or perhaps you just want to carry more food. It's much better to have just extra space in your bike packing bags before you leave, so you have that option. If you go fully loaded with no extra spare room on your bike, when it comes to it and you need to pick up some essential items, or just you want to carry a souvenir back home for your friends, well, it's going to be a lot harder. Leave a little bit of extra space in your bike packing bags. Now, at number 3, this one I haven't had to do for a very long time, but it's still a great option if you need it. Now, while I was cycling around the coast of Europe, I was doing this on a fat bike, and well, tubeless wasn't quite the thing it is today, and it wasn't quite as common. Now, on that ride I used tubes, and I was consistently every single day getting punctures. Little thorns were just getting through the tyre and popping that inner tube. Now I was able to fix all of these with patches. However, it was time consuming and a pain. So what I learned was, well, duct tape. duct tape around the inside of your tires, just a couple layers, will add a real good amount of protection. This literally saved me having any punctures for the rest of the trip. Now, duct tape is a very easy thing to get hold of. Wherever you are in the world, there will be somewhere to get duct tape. Just find any kind of hardware store and you should be able to get it. It's also very cheap. So if you are struggling with lots of punctures on your trip and you are fed up, wrap the inside of your tires with duct tape. At number 4, it's all about the duct tape today. Well, I did say before, you want to make sure you've got some space. So don't take a whole roll of duct tape to be able to do this. And if you buy it on the trip, you also don't need to carry the whole thing. Make duct tape space efficient. Just wrap it around one of your bars, whether it's your seat post or your handlebars or even your frame. This is a great way to not have to carry a whole roll of tape with you, and it lasts pretty well on your bike. You may have noticed in quite a lot of my bikepacking videos, I have a little bit of duct tape wrapped around my handlebars, and that is just purely just in case I need to tape something together. So don't carry the whole roll of duct tape and look like a duct tape fool. Just wrap a good amount around your handlebars or your seat post or your frame. So you are on the trail and you keep getting punctures. Your tubeless has failed you and you're now running tubes. The unfortunate thing is you keep getting punctures. Little thorns keep getting through your tires and you keep getting flats. You keep fixing this with a puncture repair kit. That's great, but I'm gonna tell you one thing right now. You can make this process a hell of a lot easier. Instead of having to wait for that glue to dry and set before you can put that inner tube back in your tire and on your wheel to get on your way again, now take a look at the back of that glue. What does it say? It says keep away from fire. We are bike packers, we are rule breakers. So set fire to that glue just for a brief couple of seconds before you stick that patch. What this does, it makes that glue super tacky and it just works great. No waiting around. Quick set fire to that glue and stick that patch on. It also sticks way quicker and way stronger. Break the rules, set fire to that bike glue. So you've just had an absolutely epic adventure. You've toured, you've been on a great adventure, but now you've come back and well, you're looking at your bike and it's looking like it's been on an adventure. The paint is all scuffed. Well, there is a very easy way to fix this paint up. You don't need to have your bike professionally re-sprayed or repainted. You can just pop down to your local makeup store and grab yourself some nail polish. Oh, nail polish is great for this. There are thousands and thousands of colors and it just holds up really well on the bike. And it is a great way just to touch up them blemishes from the adventures. So if you are tired of looking at them battle wounds from your adventures on your bike, pop down to your makeup store and grab yourself the correct color nail polish to fix it. On any adventure, you will have all the tools to pretty much fix anything that can go wrong on your bike. However, sometimes maybe you've lost your tools or you've just generally forgot. And there's always that one thing that breaks that you don't have the correct size Allen key. It's normally the cranks. Now, if your crank bolt has come loose and you need to tighten it and you only have smaller Allen keys, oh, good news, you can combine Allen keys together to create the size that you need. Now, this isn't a perfect solution and you probably won't get the correct torque, but it will probably be able to get you on your way at least to a nearest bike shop or built up civilization where you can find the correct one and get the correct torque. Using this trick will definitely get you out of a few sticky situations. I have done this personally and I have ridden over 150 miles on an Allen bolt that was tightened with a bunch of smaller Allen keys. Okay, so your adventure's not going quite to plan and you have broken your bike. It's unrideable for whatever reason. Well, there's some good news. Your bike isn't just a bike, it's a scooter as well. If you are 5, 6 miles, 10 miles away from built up civilization or the nearest bike shop, say, well, good news. You don't have to walk and you don't have to hike there. You can definitely scoot your bike. And on the plus side, if there's any downhills, you can sit on your bike and coast. Now this obviously means that your wheels need to be working, but if it's just like a snap chain or maybe your cranks are completely broken, whatever the reason, as long as your bike rolls, it is also a scooter. So you come to camp one night on this adventure of yours and you just feel too cold. You haven't brought the correct sleeping bag, or it's just, to your surprise, it's just a really cold night. Well, if you carry this piece of equipment, you will definitely help yourself. Take a space blanket. They are tiny, they take up no space, and they basically weigh 0. So these are an awesome feature to add to your bike packing list. They are cheap, they are super light, they pack down to literally nothing, and they can save your life or just make your night a bit more comfortable being a bit warmer. Take a space blanket in your bike packing adventure kit. Now for my final secret tip. This one is a pure secret from the Bike Packing Tourers Association that I am going to reveal to you right now. They do not want you to know this. Well, they don't really care. The secret is a lot of churches have free water. Now, if the church has a graveyard, it probably has people visiting and putting down flowers and watering flowers. Most of these churches and graveyards have water taps. Now, if you are in a desperate situation, you can obviously just drink these. They are not necessarily going to taste the best. They probably could do with some water purification tablets, but for the most part you will be fine. I have done this quite a few times, to be honest. Back before I even had a water filter, I would just see a church, I would have a nosy around and I would check if there was a water tap. If there was, I could fill up my bottles. This is obviously more of a old school kind of thing now, because we have great water filtration systems that you could basically just carry everywhere and just go to a river. But if you don't have that, or you just find yourself in a place that you cannot find a river or a stream, check your local church. Right guys, that is my 10 sort of secret tips and tricks for bike packing adventures. I'm hoping you haven't heard of all of them, and maybe some of them are new and maybe helpful to you. So if you have enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you'd like, and let's keep this channel growing, and I will see you in the next adventure. Keep smiling, enjoy the adventure, peace.